I'm taking a look at Oh Darling by the Beatles from the fabulous Abbey Road album, of course. And needless to say, it's a very piano driven song, but I love playing piano tunes on guitar. And so, what I'm going to do is just kind of a fun little arrangement to play it on guitar, just using the basic chords with that 1 2 3 1 2 3 feel that the piano has, but adding a little bit of the bass movement in between and just a couple of other little items, okay? But then I'll also be laying out the actual guitar part, that staccato guitar part, along with the arpeggios, which is actually played by John Lennon, and it's a really cool part. So I'll get into that as well and talk about the tone and all of that. But right now, I'll just show you how I've put together this tune, kind of a nice way to play it on guitar by itself. And I've got a really clean tone going, my telly right into my Orange Crush 20 RT amp. And I'm using just a little tiny pinch of chorus, okay? So the song is in two sections, part A and part B, if you like, okay? So let's talk about part A right now. So let's get into this first part. The opening chord is an E augmented, which you can hear played so gently on the piano. And you can see it on the screen, and you just want to gently sweep across the strings. And then we're into that 1 2 3 1 2 3. So we want to grab a little bit of that from the piano, and then we're going to incorporate a bit of the bass lick, which, by the way, the bass on this song is actually played by George Harrison. There you go. So we want 1 2 3 1. So it's actually 4 strikes, but with that triplet feel. And then we play the lick. Now the lick is a hammer-on the D string from the 2nd fret to the 4th fret. Come back and pick it at the 2nd fret. And then use your ring finger on the A string to slide from 2 to 4. Then 2nd fret on the D string again. So we have... And then finally come back to the 4th fret on the A string. So that full little riff is... So it comes right off of the A chord. Then we're going to move to the E chord in E major. Same rhythm, right? And then we do the same pattern, but starting from the A string. Once again. So between those two chords, we have that very cool 50s feel. And then we move to a full-on F sharp minor bar chord. And what I'm doing on this chord is I'm playing 1 2 3 1 and 1 2 3 1 and kind of letting it ring. So the rhythm on that one is actually... So again, it's like 1 2 3 1 and 1 2 3 1. And then we move to a D bar chord. Same rhythm, 1 2 3 1. So what I did there, just bringing maybe a little bit of that Hendrix thing in there, if you want to call it that. Slide with your ring finger on the A string from 7 to 9. Then bar across the D and the G string. Strike those as a double stop. And then hammer on. So that was a hammer on from the 7th fret to the 9th fret on the A string. Then 7th fret on the D string, and back to the 9th fret on the A string. I'll do that one again real slow. So now we've got... Pretty sweet indeed, okay? And then we move to a B minor chord, and this is the way I chose to play this one. So you can see I'm moving from the B minor to an E7, And I put a couple of those little notes in between as well because it kind of matches with the vocal as well as some bass movement that's going on. But I'm actually playing this. 1, 2, 3, 1, then grabbing the 4th fret on the D string and the 2nd fret on the A string. Both notes, of course, being part of the chord already. And then E7. And I kind of like to let that ring, you know, as a guitar arrangement, if you will. Just like so. And then we move to this. Very nice little turnaround. So I'm on the A chord, 1, 2, 3, 1. Then the 2nd fret on the A string to the 4th fret. That's your walk up. And then I play a partial D chord. I think this works out best as opposed to a full one. But my first finger is on the 2nd fret on the G string, and then the 3rd fret on the B string, and I'm using the open D string as well. So it's the same rhythm, and then we play the 1st fret on the D string to the 2nd fret on the D string. So those two rhythms are exactly the same. 1, 2, 3, 1, walk. 1, 2, 3, 1, walk. Come back to the A chord. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 1, and then we walk down. 4th fret on the 6th string and 2nd fret. So putting that little section together, we have we hit the open E string and we let it ring. So you can see I just repeated everything, but when we get to the next turnaround, it's slightly different and it leads us into the B section of the song. So that second turnaround can be played a couple of different ways, and I'll show you each way that you can do it and the way that I like to do it. The first way is really incorporating the bass movement, the chromaticism of that. So let's talk about all of that. So the difference between the two turnarounds, the difference between the first one and this one is the tail end of it, okay? And as I was saying, you can play this a couple of different ways. You don't have to do that. You can leave that out if you want to and just replace it with an A7 chord. But essentially it starts out the same way. Right there, if you just want to use the chords, is where you'll want to put the A7. Okay, so if you choose to use the chords only, this is the way you would play it. And jump up to the D chord. But if you want to put that chromatic walk in there, this is the way you would count it. Start your walk up. So again, on that A chord, it would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And that leads us right into the D chord. So whatever way you want to play it is absolutely fine, okay? Now, once we reach the D chord, we're going to do this little chromatic movement. just taking the chord in half steps all the way up. D, D sharp, if you will, and E. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we land an F7 chord. Just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we're back to the A chord. And you're going to sit on the A chord for a while and tag a seventh at the end of it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we make our way to a B7 chord and we sit there for a little bit as well. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we jump into an E7 chord to an F7 chord and back, and you really want to pop these really staccato. So I'm doing some quick muting in between each chord, but also kind of attacking each chord to make it extra staccato. Right back to the opening chord, the E augmented. So that whole part, starting from the second turnaround, is played like this. Right back to the verse again. Now, for the actual guitar part on the song, John Lennon's part, I've got a little bit of dirt on it, not too much. Definitely on the bridge pickup. You want a little bit brighter tone for this. And I'm also using the Kamisi tremolo pedal, which you can hear. Because John's got a little tremolo on it from a good old Fender amp, I'm sure. And you can really hear it on the arpeggios when he gets into that. So all of these shapes are pretty simple. They're basically just based on major and minor shapes. So that's 5, 5, 6, 7. That would be your major shape. And then minor shape would be 5, 5, 5, 7. And then you've got some other minor shapes as well, which would be 5, 6, 7. But these will all be mapped out for you, okay? What I like to do with this, I can't really tell from the recording if John is actually playing 4-string shapes, but it sounds more like he's playing just 3-string shapes, like for major 5, 5, 6, for minor 5, 5, 5, and then as I said, another minor shape would be 5, 6, 7. Of course, these will be at different places on the fretboard, but you get the idea. Like I said, it'll all be mapped out for you. But I like using just those first 3 strings. It sounds brighter and a little bit more like the recording. But then he does get into the arpeggios, for instance. And he's definitely using the 4-string shapes for those. So I'm going to use a click for this, just a so you can tell exactly where I'm at in the chord progression and how it works with the song, okay? And as a quick note, you do a quick slide off of each of these chords. It's not a slow, lazy slide. It's very quick. That type of thing, okay? So here we go. And then all of that would be repeated again. The difference is on the last A chord that he played. The first time through, he plays 3 of them. And the second time through, for that second turnaround that we spoke about earlier, he plays 4 of them and then moves into the arpeggiated chords. Okay, so let me play that part for you as well. So to clarify, this would be the second verse going into the second turnaround into the B section of the song. Here we go. And there you go. That's how he plays the arpeggios over the B section of the song. So there you go with Oh Darling and the actual guitar part played by Lennon, of course, on the original recording, and just kind of a fun arrangement to play it on guitar if you don't have a piano player in your back pocket. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys real soon.